2023 might be a banner year, but it's the year video games lost its soul. Is it? Holiday dinner to eat with a family? Oh, cool. It's been quite a year in video games. With a year so monumental, there's a significant number that gamers and those people less invested in the inner workings of the industry should take note of. 96, 96, we know what those are, right? 94, 93, 92, 92, 92, 91, 91. Just a sample of the tremendous video games from this year to receive glowing critical reception. At one point, the Game of the Year race was down to 2 thoroughbreds, yet every other week has delivered another to the starting gate. This is the thing with EA. EA is so big. They do occasionally make a decent game. Like, honest, I've been playing Titanfall 2 right now with my son, and it's a good game. They're the publisher, but their subsidiary made it and everything, which was it's Respawn, right? Isn't that who it is? I think that's who it is, dude. Yeah, Respawn, yeah. Yeah, they turned it into Apex, exactly, dude. Well, Titanfall 1, then Titanfall 2, and then it became Apex, and Titanfall 2 is actually a really solid game. And I have a thing for mech games anyways, but it's kind of funny going from playing. I never played Titanfall until after I had played Apex, and I liked Apex. I like Apex. This is the thing about EA. EA is so big. They have so many subsidiaries that it's inevitable that they'll occasionally have something shine, right? It's just inevitable. They'll occasionally get a diamond in the rough, right? OG Titanfall was okay. Yeah, Titanfall 2 is solid, dude. It's really good. I like it. And the reason I started playing it again was because we read a few months ago that the multiplayer servers got brought back into, like modern times, and a lot of people started playing it again, and the game was on sale for like $3 on Steam. So I bought a few copies of it for here in the household, and we started playing it. We've been having a good time with it, dude. $3. It's a good time. We've been having fun with it. And dude, the multiplayer is great. There's like tens of thousands of people playing it right now, so it's been a good time. But that's the thing with EA. They're so big, it's inevitable. They occasionally get a banger, right? Occasionally. But most of their games are really forgettable, if not terrible. Mediocre to forgettable, right? Most of their games are. But occasionally they'll have a banger. It's just inevitable. Their umbrella is so flippin' big, dude. They have so much real estate they cover for game releases and everything. It's just inevitable. Yeah, TF2, dude, is a good time. It's fun, bro. I like it. It's a cool experience. The mechs feel great in it too, dude. They feel really good. Back to this though. Then there's the most damning number of them all, 6,000. An estimated 6,000 people have suffered the mass layoffs, redundancies, and even consolidation that has hit the tech and gaming sector so very hard this year. We just read 2 more articles this morning about more layoffs from Warframe's developer as well as Unity, right? There are no mechs in TF2 though. Depends on the TF2, I guess, right? Like, wait, what is he talking about? So 6,000 of the very people who've had a hand in so many of these tentpole releases that are collectively seeing 2023 held as one of the greatest 12-month stretches for video game releases ever. And the divisions that these people work in are all encompassing: art, audio, design, writing, public relations. The list really goes on and on. The thing that often gets lost in translation is that every one of the 6,000 is someone who had been living out their dream job for them getting to work in video games was the tip of the spear, the pointy end of a career path that sadly has seen no security or longevity. And as we've witnessed throughout the very public redundancies at Bungie, even those with tenure and profound contribution all over their resume, such as Michael Salvatore, are not safe. Yep. I'm not gonna read the entire rest of this thing, but yeah, we hit on this every day, and we've talked about both sides of this article. Okay, we've talked about both sides of this article. Virtually every single day, dude, we get into these discussions. It's about. I'll link it so you guys can read it. But this has been an incredible year for releases, gaming releases. Have we also still had our share of, unfortunately, developers feeling like it's okay to release games that aren't ready to be released? Unfinished products? Yep, absolutely. Which feels bad. That trend has to stop. Developers should not feel comfortable releasing games that are not finished. Patching is not something that is acceptable to use to finish your games. Patching is something that is useful as a tool and a utility to fix unforeseen issues and to add additional content to your products. That's it. This notion that it's okay for companies to release their products half-baked, half-finished, and that it's acceptable, it's okay, and that, well, we'll just finish it up after we release it. That's balls. Trash. And it should never happen like that. But it continues to. And I think the mindset, it has to start with, like, obviously us as the consumer and going, if a company does that, you don't support them. We don't have regulatory agencies and committees that hold these developers responsible, give them consequences for doing this kind of crap to us, of releasing broken ass products, and having us pay full price for them. We're the only ones that can change this process. It's gotten so far that we've seen Colossal Order come out with a statement about City Skylines 2 before the game even released, going, yo, we know the game's not ready. We know the game's not finished, but we're going to release it anyways. That's how comfortable developers have gotten in this industry. That is terrible news for us. That does not bode well for us moving forward. That's bad news. But it has been very incredible to see. We haven't seen a year like this with the amount of bangers, dude, in a long time. It's been phenomenal. Really crazy. And on that front, it's been kind of wild. You know what I mean? We've seen a lot of terrible ones, and then we've seen more. Look at all those 90s up there. Dude, this isn't even taking, look, I say this all the time. Anything that hits the 90s across like a critically reviewed site or anything, consensus-wise is just unforgettable, and really usually going to be something that is industry defining moving forward for us, right? Anything that's in the 80s is still an unforgettable, usually a really, really, amazing experience, especially, mid to high 80s is still encroaching upon what a lot of these low 90s are, in that just phenomenal experience, unforgettable, lifelong kind of, things you'll remember about these experiences you dive into for gaming and stuff. And dude, there have been a ton of, they're only talking about the 90s. There have been a lot of 80s this year too. It's pretty nuts. But also, every single day we do the news, every single day, more people are losing their jobs. More people. And it can be attributed to different things, I think. Part of it is finally. Oh, nice, Pinky. All right, dude. You know, I talked about this earlier, but the pandemic, the gaming industry is one of the only industries that really benefited from the pandemic. The hardware side didn't, but the software side did. And it was still tough because there was a lot of um, you know, having to work from home, having to figure out how to get people to be able to work on these projects while relocated to an out of office kind of workplace environment, things like that, right? It wasn't easy necessarily, but dude, everybody was playing video games. Everybody. So the gaming industry just went nuts, dude. Hardware was brutal, but the software side was bonkers, and so it seemed like everybody overhired. And it was inevitable that after the pandemic, things were going to come back down to the norm, right? And here we are. So, an amount of these firings, I think, have to be attributed to a little bit of coming back to reality for what the industry was going to inevitably be coming back and hitting, right? And it still doesn't feel good. It still sucks. Then we've got other things like you take a look at companies like Embracer and Epic. Big companies, even Microsoft. You know what I mean? Big companies that feels more like they might have had some really poor business strategies going on. More like they made some poor choices as far as figuring out where to push their chips in. And we just constantly got the same default standard stupid statement from all these companies, no definitive explanation about what went wrong and why they immediately resort to firing employees that got them to where they are at in the first place. And it feels terrible. It's never look, we did everything we could to try and circumvent the process of having to result to firing employees to save the company. It's never that. It's always, well, we're in a bad spot and we love our employees, but we gotta fire 800 of them. Nothing else we can do. Hands are tied, right? And it's just the same default. We never get any kind of like legitimate explanation. No definitive, showing of what went wrong. Where maybe CEOs, besides Bungie, we got a little bit from Bungie here recently. That was about it. But almost never is there, CEOs aren't getting their bonuses. CEOs are taking taking some salary cuts to save jobs because we're trying to take care of our employees or anything like that. It's just, we've hit hard times. Start laying everybody off. And do I, absolutely know what's going on internally? No, I don't. But I wouldn't be coming to these assumptions if they would at least try to explain it a little bit better. If that's not the case, tell us it's not the case. Show us what happened. Show us what you've done to try and not resort to something like that in the first place. We don't ever get that, right? I haven't linked this in a bit, but I want to show this. This is a great flipping article. Basically, it's like a parody. It's really good. An author by the name of Mike Drucker wrote this, and I touched on it probably about a month ago. And it's basically parodying the same stupid statements we get all the time from these companies about, oh well, we love our employees and we love our customer and we would never want to do this, and it's, take a look at it. It's pretty good. I read it in a pretty sarcastic manner because it works so well, but it is it's unfortunate, man. And I'm literally serious. Every day we do the news, it's a new studio firing employees or getting crushed by a parent company, or I mean, it's brutal, man. You know, it's brutal. It's tough to see. It's tough to watch, and for all those people out there that are affected by this, losing a gig. I mean, obviously, heart and thoughts go out to those people. This isn't one of those, like, obviously, it's not a situation of people under some kind of performance review process and going, well, hey, you're not hitting your marks. It's just like, well, we're not doing too good because we made some bad business decisions. So get wrecked is the way most of it comes off, and I just hope that for these people that find themselves in these positions, that they find something quickly, they find something better and more fulfilling for them moving forward than what they had before. It's a dire situation for people when you lose your job. Quite often, for people when they lose their jobs, it's it can be very bad for your mental health. It's stressful. It's rough, and I don't know. I hope the people affected by this have an easy time transitioning into something new, and it's a better experience for them moving forward. It's a rough thing to see, dude, every day.